The sky tore open at 2:13 p.m. Eastern Time. At first, people thought it was a solar flare. Then came the noise like thunder wrapped in metal. Clouds turned red, not the soft fading orange of sunset. No, this was deep. Violent red like blood soaked into fire, and then they appeared. Massive ships. Thousands of them. Each the size of a city. They hovered over every major population center in New York, London, Tokyo, Beijing, Mumbai, Johannesburg, Sao Paulo. No message, no warning, no signs of peace. Earth had seen strange things before. Meteor. Threats, wars, UFO hoaxes, deep-sea monsters caught on camera. But this was different. These ships weren't hiding. They weren't scanning. They were waiting. The world held its breath. Then the first one landed in the middle of Times Square. A circular alien dropship hissed steam as it opened. Tall, insect-like warriors stepped out, black armor glowing with green light. They had no visible eyes, just a single red lens in the center of their heads. Their movements were smooth, calculated, like they had done this before. Civilians screamed, ran, filmed. Police and soldiers arrived, weapons raised. But before a single bullet could be fired, it happened. The aliens stopped. They convulsed, one by one, as if struck by lightning. Their armor sparked, and their bodies began to smoke. Within seconds, all 12 invaders collapsed, witching, burning, melting right there on the street. No one touched them. No shots were fired. They just died. The world went silent. The death of the first wave all around the planet, the same thing happened. Alien dropships opened. Soldiers stepped out. And every single one of them died within seconds of stepping onto Earth's surface. Some fell face first into the dirt. Others screamed in strange, unearthly sounds before collapsing. Some simply dropped dead mid-stride, like their bodies had shut off. It was global. It was instant, and no one understood why. The President of the United States was rushed into a bunker. World leaders activated emergency channels. The UN called for calm, but no one could explain it. News anchors tried to describe what they saw, but their voices shook. Social media exploded with footage from every country. Aliens falling, aliens melting, aliens dying, and everywhere, one question repeated like a drum beat. Why is Earth killing them? A panic in the stars far above Earth, aboard the Tavarak. Sovereign, the High Commander of the Galactic Dominion, stared in disbelief. His name was Lord Cavrix, and he had never lost a war. His empire had conquered 119 worlds, extinguished 40 civilizations, and enslaved hundreds of species. Earth was supposed to be easy, primitive, unarmed, divided, and yet the first wave 3,000 elite soldiers was now dead. All of them, not one. Human had fired a shot. Scan their networks again, Cavrix ordered. His second-in-command, Varel, obeyed. The humans were clever in their way, but fragile. Their technology was primitive, no energy. Discharges. No chemical weapons. No kinetic strikes, Varel said. They didn't defend themselves. It's the planet. Kavarik stared at the blue and green orb below. Something was wrong with Earth. Something ... unnatural. And then he said it. Perhaps Earth is cursed. Science. Or sorcery back on the ground. Human scientists rushed to examine the fallen invaders. The bodies were still hot, some glowing with internal heat. Hazmat teams used robotic arms to collect samples. No one wanted to get too close. What they found made no sense. The alien bodies weren't burned on the outside. They were burned from within. Organs were liquefied, bones were scorched. Strange. Biological tissue was cracked like glass. Some appeared to have aged hundreds of years in seconds. Thermal trauma? One researcher guessed. No heat source, replied another, not externally. Radiation poisoning? No trace? Bioweapons? Didn't deploy any. They argued for hours, digging through every possibility. But the conclusion was terrifyingly simple. The moment the aliens touched Earth, their biology collapsed. The impossible truth in a lab deep beneath Geneva, Dr. Helen Okoro, a Nigerian biologist. Known for her work on extreme environments, studied one of the bodies. "It's not our weapons," she said. "It's our world." "What do you mean?" asked her assistant. "Everything on Earth is toxic to them. The air, the microbes, the gravity, even the temperature. It's like they weren't just unprepared. It's like they never evolved to survive this planet. But they had shields, armor, doesn't matter. Earth's environment went through billions of years of hell volcanoes, radiation, diseases, climate shifts. Life here became tough. We're built to survive chaos. They're not. You're saying Earth killed them because it's too alive?" She nodded. "And they died because they were too clean." A galaxy-stunned word spread fast across the stars. The galactic broadcast net was flooded with reports. Earth. The death planet Dominion forces wiped out in seconds. Nitrogen monoxide, technology. Nitrogen monoxide, defense. Only death. Species across the galaxy paused. Some laughed, thinking the Dominion faked the loss to lure enemies. Others whispered that Earth was a trap built by ancient gods. But those who had seen the footage, they knew. They watched armored soldiers fall. Apart like wet paper, they watched fire burn from the inside out. They watched death come instantly, and they believed retreat or retaliation. Lord Cavrix faced a choice. He could retreat and lose face across the stars, or he could send more troops, more machines, power, more terror. But something inside him, something primal, said, "Don't." Still, pride was a deadly thing. He ordered. A second wave this time. Unmanned drones and robotic units, they launched down to our Earth's surface. They never made it. Midway through the descent, systems shut down. Circuits fried, software corrupted. The drones fell from the sky like dead birds. Earth didn't just reject biology, it rejected everything. The human. Reaction humanity stood in silence. No one cheered, no one celebrated. They had won nothing. They had only survived. And yet, the enemy was dead. Without a fight? Was it over? That was the question everyone asked. The president addressed the world from a secure bunker. "We didn't ask for this. We didn't start it. But something about our world, it's about us, is lethal to them. We don't know why. We're going to find out." But behind closed doors, others weren't so sure. Some wanted to weaponize. Whatever was happening, others feared retaliation, and a few whispered the most terrifying thought of all. What if this is just the beginning? One final broadcast 2 days later, strange transmission echoed through Earth's orbit. It came from the last Dominion ship still hovering above the planet. A cold, robotic voice in perfect English. "This world is death. We leave now. God. But others will come. They always do. Earth is cursed. You are alone." Then silence. All ships vanished. The quiet before the storm. The world went back to normal. On the surface, but deep underground, in labs and bunkers, humans began to prepare, not for war, for understanding. What had they become? Why was Earth so deadly? Most important, would they be ready when the next visitor arrived? The first scalpel touched the alien flesh and melted. Then the lights went out. Then the body moved. It was dead. But it still moved. Dead doesn't mean safe. They brought the first alien body to a cold, sealed laboratory beneath Colorado. No sunlight, no open air, just lead walls and reinforced steel. The scientists wore full suits, triple filters, oxygen tanks, body scanners. Still, no one felt safe. The corpse lay motionless. Black cracked armor, skin like dry rubber. Empty sockets where alien eyes once glowed. Dr. Luis Mendoza stared at it through a glass window. His hand trembled slightly. He had performed autopsies before. It's never like this. "This isn't just biology," he whispered. "It's something else." Beside him, Dr. Yumi Takada checked her instruments. "The DNA doesn't respond to anything," she said. "No enzymes, no reagents. It's like this thing was never alive, but it bled," Mendoza argued, "and it screamed." Yumi turned to him. "And yet, nothing we know can even cut it." First cut, the autopsy began with a titanium scalpel. Blade touched the alien's chest, then sparked and melted like wax in a furnace. The room filled with the smell of burning metal. Alarms blared. Equipment failed. Monitors blinked out. Mendoza backed away. What the hell just happened? Yumi looked pale. I think the body's emitting energy. Heat or radiation. Maybe both. A robotic arm tried next using a diamond saw. The same result. The blade shattered. Hours passed. Finally, they used a focused plasma laser to burn through the armor. It worked but barely. It took 13 minutes to cut a 6-inch slit. Inside. The smell hit them first. It's not rot, not death. It was wrong like static. It's like the scent of electricity and acid. Mendoza leaned forward, and the body moved. Just a twitch. Much. Jerk of the arm, but it moved. Not dead. Enough security rushed in. Guns drawn. Is it alive? One shouted. No heartbeat.
Activity.
It's dead, Yumi insisted. Then the alien's fingers flexed. Not violently, not with purpose. More. Like something reacting. The body was dying again, slowly, one cell at a time. They scanned the tissue. Everything inside was collapsing. Organs were liquefying. Blood was crystallizing into black dust. Whatever killed it on Earth didn't stop at death. It kept working, breaking it down, racing it. The body was disintegrating from the inside out. Message in the bones hours later. The skeleton was nearly clean. That's when Mendoza found it. A metallic shard embedded in the spine, not bone. Tech. Something else. A data. Tag. Old-fashioned. He placed it in the scanner and decoded the signal. One word repeated over and over. Earth quarantined. His hands froze. This wasn't an attack, he said softly. Yumi stared. This wasn't. The first time they came, they've known for a long time. A hidden pastel around the planet. More bodies were studied in Germany. They found a second tag, this one from a species thought extinct. Do not land. Biothreat. Level black. In Brazil, researchers uncovered a melted map showing dozens of red circles planets marked infected. Earth was circled in bold. In South Korea, a burned journal fragment, written in an alien language, translated as, "The planet breathes poison." The humans carry it in their blood. Panic began to grow. What if Earth wasn't just a planet? What if it was a trap? Fear spreads. World leaders met again, this time with classified intel only. Satellites showed alien probes in orbit watching, not attacking. China and Russia suggested capturing. 1. The U.S. proposed building defense satellites. France asked the real question, what if the enemy isn't out there? What if it's us? No one answered. Meanwhile, the public wanted answers. Protests formed. Conspiracy theories spread. Some claimed the aliens were faking their deaths. Others said Earth had awakened ancient powers. One religion declared, Earth the cradle of the gods. But none of them knew the truth. Not yet. The unnatural nature of Earth. Dr. Shah Banerjee, an Indian ecologist working with NASA, made a shocking discovery. She mapped the atmospheric pressure, bacterial density, electromagnetic radiation, and viral count across Earth, then compared them to 347 other known habitable worlds. Her findings. Earth is off the charts in every category. It's not just life-rich, it's aggressively alive. The planet's microbes mutate faster. Viruses adapt in seconds. Even its plants release chemicals that can kill or confuse. No other planet behaves this way, in humans. Humans live in it like it's normal. The alien brain, the last. Its autopsy revealed the most terrifying truth of all. Inside the alien's skull, after the brain liquefied, one piece remained, a memory core, a backup unit. They decoded it. The alien had been terrified of Earth. Its thoughts were like screams. Too hot, too bright, too loud, the ground stings. The air bites, the light burns, everything ... hurts. Earth to them was hell. The Dominion didn't come to conquer. They came to study, and maybe to cleanse silence above them. The ships vanished. One by one, they blinked out of Earth's orbit. No explosions, no warnings, just silence. Mendoza stared at the sky from the lab roof. Why leave? He asked. Yumi joined him because they don't know what we are. And neither do we. She looked at her hand. At first I thought Earth killed them. Now I think, maybe we did. He didn't answer, because deep down, he thought the same. Final log. Earth is not safe. 3 days later, an anonymous message appeared on every major global network, text only. Earth is not safe. Do not approach. We tried to understand. We were wrong. IT's not just. The planet, the humans are the catalyst, then nothing. At the center of the galaxy, the tribunal gathered. 12 ancient species watched the same footage, aliens dying on Earth without a fight. Then the vote began. The final decision would change galactic law forever. The broadcast that shook the stars, the footage spread like wildfire. Alien commandos stepping onto Earth's surface, falling, melting, dying again and again. No human attack, no defense system. Just death. Every spacefaring species with a screen had seen it. The Galactic Broadcast Network didn't even need to add commentary. The silence spoke louder than words. One phrase rose above the noise. Death World. The tribunal convenes. The core of the galaxy, orbiting a white dwarf star, the Galactic Tribunal prepared to meet. The chamber was massive, carved into an asteroid the size of a moon. Only the oldest and most powerful species were allowed here. There were 12 high seats. Each belonged to a founding race of the galaxy. The Eldari, silver-skinned, long-limbed, born before fire. The Craxians, living stone, older than memory. The Volari, insectoids who communicated with ultraviolet song. The Tizen, eyeless beings who saw time itself. And others each more ancient than humanity could ever imagine. Now, for the first time in 5,000 cycles, they had summoned an emergency vote. Earth had forced their hand. Testimony from the Dominion Lord Cavrix, the Dominion commander who had ordered. The Earth invasion appeared via holostream. He did not speak boldly. As he once did, he looked worn, angry, and afraid. We lost 6,000 soldiers, he said, not in battle, in seconds. No resistance. No warning, just ... eradication. The tribunal remained silent. Cavrix continued. We used filters, armor, radiation shields. Nothing worked. Not even drones survived the descent. One of the tribunal members spoke. The voice came from the stone mouth of a Craxian judge. You saying Earth possesses a biological weapon capable of planetary defense? No, Cavrix replied. It's not a weapon. He leaned forward. It's the planet itself. The banned list throughout galactic history. Only 5 planets had ever been added to the banned worlds registry, places where no species could legally land, trade, or colonize. Now, for the 6th time, a new name was proposed. The Eldari spoke in clear tones. Earth, South-3, status, quarantined. Classification, Death World. Risk level, Omega. The tribunal began to vote. Each raised a sigil of their species. One by one, lights turned red. 12 votes. Unanimous. Earth was officially banned. Any species attempting contact would be exiled. Executed. Reactions across the galaxy and trading worlds, like Renthis 9 and Calyx Prime. Alien merchants packed up their Earth-curious tech, books, videos. Language translators, no more human artifacts allowed. Smugglers burned their stock to avoid detection, but not everyone obeyed. In shadowy corners of the galaxy, new voices began to rise. If Earth kills everything, then what if we could harness it? What if the humans aren't cursed but perfect? Maybe it's not a warning. Maybe it's an invitation. The idea of studying humans spread like poison in dark minds. The whispered name, Death World, prime among mercenaries, pirates, and black market scientists. Earth gained a new nickname, Death World Prime, some claimed. Humans weren't even organic. Others believed Earth was once a prison sealed by ancient civilizations, and humans were its last guards. A few cults began worshipping Earth as a living god. And one terrifying rumor kept returning. If humans can survive Earth, what happens when they leave it? The human responds, back on Earth, the planet was quiet, or so it seemed. In hidden bunkers and military labs, secret meetings took place. The footage from space had confirmed it. Alien drones died in midair, not by weapon, by atmosphere. Upper layers were toxic to everything non-human. Not even robotic machines could stay powered. Their circuits fried. Their AI collapsed. Project Sentinel, an international science coalition, ran simulations. The results were shocking. Earth emitted a spectrum of natural signals, electromagnetic, bacterial, and even quantum, that damaged alien systems and biology at the code level. It wasn't war, it was incompatibility. Earth was never meant to mix with the rest of the galaxy. The forbidden landing, meanwhile, not everyone respected the tribunal's decision. A rogue ship from a minor species, the Zentari, ignored the quarantine and attempted a stealth landing near the Amazon rainforest. They wore heavy suits they brought, genetic demanders. They even cloaked their approach. They landed for 19 seconds. Then it began. Their suits ruptured one by one. The crew screamed as their blood boiled, their bones shattered, and their lungs turned to sand. The ship's onboard AI sent one final message before going dark. Error, error, environmental breach. Non-Euclidean material detected. Hostile. Planetary response. The ship was never recovered. Only a blackened crater remained. Fear spreads among the stars. The message was clear now, not just to Earth, to everyone. This planet cannot be touched, cannot be studied, cannot be understood. Species that once feared the Dominion now feared something else. Humans. Trade routes near Sol were shut down. Warning buoys were placed across the star system. New maps labeled Earth not as Sol 3, but danger zone, absolute quarantine, death. Worlds still, some eyes watched. Some minds wondered, not if Earth would reach them, but when. What comes next? On Mars, Earth's first deep research station observed strange readings. Something in the planet's core had changed. Heat levels rising, magnetism fluctuating, as if Earth itself had responded to the alien invasion, like a living organism flexing its muscles. One scientist, staring at the readings, whispered, "Earth didn't fight back. It woke up." And deep below Antarctica, a massive, ancient structure long buried in ice began to vibrate. Final message. From the tribunal, before ending the session, the Galactic Tribunal released a warning broadcast. To all sentient life forms, the following system is off limits by galactic law. Sol, approach at your own peril. Earth does not recognize peace. Earth does not allow trespass. Earth is not a world. ... It is a weapon. And so Earth, blue, green, and deadly, became the most feared place in the universe. They had always wondered why no aliens survived Earth, but no one asked the real question: what happens when a human sets foot on alien soil? They were about to find out, and the galaxy would never be the same. The plan no one wanted to approve. They called it Project Mirror. It was not a military operation, not officially, no public statements, no news coverage, just whispers in government halls and encrypted files buried under thousands of ferrules. The goal? To send one human beyond Earth, into alien territory, to test a theory that no one dared speak aloud. Dr. Yumi Takeda.
Ow.
Now, the lead biostrategist at the United Global Research Corps put it simply: if Earth kills aliens, and humans evolved. Hear what happens when we leave? Most officials refused to support the idea. Too dangerous, said one general. What if they see it as a weapon test? Asked a diplomat. What if we can't bring them back? Said another. But one voice cut through the noise. We've already been invaded, said Commander Elijah Vance. We deserve to know what we are. And just like that, Project Mirror got its green light. The volunteer they didn't have to ask twice. Captain Aiden Reeves stepped forward. Same day, the project was announced to Black-Ops, age 34, ex-Special Forces. No family. high adaptability, immune to multiple terrestrial and synthetic viruses, psychologically stable under extreme stress. His test results were unusual. Blood oxygen levels were 12% higher than average skin produced. Antimicrobial peptides, at twice the normal rate, and his nervous system showed resistance to non-human bio-frequencies, but most of all he didn't fear the mission. He wanted it. They came to us. I'm going to them, he said. First contact human style, the target planet was called Zal 7R, a low-gravity world ruled by the Varex, a crystalline, energy-based species that had once traded with the Dominion. Zal 7R had been chosen for two reasons. It had never had contact with humans. Its environment was biologically safe to most known species. They sent Reeve in a custom lander, packed with safety measures, biosensors, and a neural recorder. He landed outside the Varex capital. At first, nothing happened. Then the sky glowed. Orange. Hundreds of Varex observers appeared, hovering, flickering, warping around him like reflections in broken glass. They didn't attack. They just watched. The human effect Reeve stepped onto Zal 7R soil at first. He felt fine. He walked, breathed. His suit stayed sealed, but atmospheric sensors said the air was safe. Then the readings started. Spiking. The grass beneath his boots began to shrivel. Flora nearby twisted toward him, then turned black and brittle. Tiny airborne spores collapsed. Mid-flight around him, one of the Varex floated close. Without warning, its glow faded. Its crystals cracked. It screamed a high-pitched echo that bent the wind. Then it disintegrated. Reeve didn't touch it. He didn't say a word. He just stood there, the first galactic quarantine breach back in Earth orbit. Scientists watched the data stream from Reeve's body cam and biosensors. They saw what he saw, they heard the screams, and they felt what he felt. Nothing, no illness, no fear, no pain, but Zal 7R was dying around him. He's not being attacked, Yumi whispered. He's the attacker just by existing. The decision was clear. Earth had to retrieve him immediately, but by then it was too late. Reeve had already moved deeper into the city, and the Varex had responded. City burns without fire. The Varex launched a defense grid, energy walls, magnetic fields, sonic barriers, all aimed at trapping Reeve in a containment dome. But as soon as the systems powered up, they failed. Circuits exploded. Crystals. Fractured data pulses reversed. Their technology didn't just shut down, it withered. Varex screamed in panic. More of them collapsed. Even their city towers' living structures made of sentient. Quartz began to fade and crumble. Reeve kept walking, still untouched, still unaware of how much damage he caused. Extraction 3 hours. Later, the emergency retrieval drone landed. Reeve climbed in silently, his helmet still sealed. The drone launched. Behind him, Zal 7R burned with invisible decay. By the time the drone left orbit, the Varex population had dropped by 47%, and not a single shot was fired. Debriefed as sat in a reinforced decontamination chamber for 48 hours. No symptoms, no injuries, no psychological effects. But when the doctors reviewed the mission data, they saw something terrifying. Reeve's skin emitted nanoscopic biowaves that destabilized alien molecular structures. DOT. His presence disrupted quantum bonds in foreign matter. The energy signature came from his mitochondria, the engines of human cells. Earth had trained humanity for billions of years to survive the worst. Now it seemed humans didn't just survive, they unmade. The galaxy panics. The tribunal received the footage 2 days later. They reviewed it, voted again, this time. Added urgency. Earth is not just a death world, declared the Eldari. Humans are mobile extinction events. New laws were passed. No human may leave Sol without tribunal approval. Any ship carrying a human must be destroyed on sight. Earth is now labeled Class Omega, Exile. Threat, but the damage had already been done. Reeve had shown the truth, and the galaxy could never forget it. They thought it was Earth that was dangerous. They were wrong. It was the humans, their cells, their DNA. A single strand of it could unravel entire ecosystems. And now, that DNA had left the planet. The aftermath of 1 Manxel 7R had been a thriving world. Now it was nearly silent. Over 80% of its native Varix population was gone. The rest were in permanent stasis, their crystalline bodies damaged beyond repair. The capital city, once pulsing with light and motion, was a wasteland of cracked towers and smoking air, and all of it had started with one man, Captain Aiden. Reeve. The message from the Varix Council was sent across the galaxy. Encrypted and trembling with fear, human presence equals biocollapse. Do not engage, do not observe, destroy on sight. But it was already too late. Curious minds across. The stars had seen the footage, and a terrifying realization spread like wildfire. If one human can do this, what happens when there are billions? A gene that shouldn't exist back on Earth. Reeve was under intense medical observation in a deep level bioshielded facility. His blood was tested every hour, his breath captured and analyzed, his sweat, his skin, even his tears sampled and stored. It was during one of these tests that Dr. Yumi Takeda made the breakthrough. Inside Reeve's DNA, nestled deep within the mitochondrial code, was a sequence that didn't match anything on record. Not human, not animal, not terrestrial. A self-replicating, adaptive strand, codename GEN, Omega gene, Omega. It emitted ultra-low-frequency bioradiation. It could change based on environmental input. It responded to alien biology with violent molecular rejection. It didn't just protect it, attacked automatically. The hidden truth about Earth across thousands of hours of research, one conclusion became clear. Gen Omega was not random. It had evolved. For a reason, Earth, unlike other planets, had survived multiple extinction-level events. Gamma bursts, supervolcanoes, asteroid impacts, radiation storms, and somehow life always came back stronger. The survivors' bacteria, insects, mammals grew, more adaptive, more aggressive, and over time, human DNA began to change. The Earth hadn't just forged a species, it had weaponized one. Flashbacks from the cradle scientists began reviewing ancient samples fossils, mummified remains, genetic records from centuries ago. The GEN Omega sequence wasn't always active. In fact, it had awakened sometime in the 21st century, triggered by a combination of factors. Global pandemics, environmental collapse, widespread radiation exposure, mass gene therapy. Each event pushed humanity to evolve, and now, in the 24th century, the sequence was fully integrated, not in some humans, in all of them. The entire species was unknowingly laced with a biological defense system that couldn't be turned off. A walking extinction switch. What the aliens found first. Hidden broadcasts leaked from a dying Dominion ship orbiting a distant moon. It contained a single scan of a human. Corpse recovered in secret after Earth's first contact. The report was brief, translated into galactic standard, biological structure incompatible, foreign DNA detected, unknown evolution pathway. Threat level, Omega++. Warning, human genes cannot be isolated safely. Exposure risks include data corruption, synthetic breakdown, and species collapse. Do not clone, do not harvest, do not replicate. File terminated. Ship lost. The experiment that crossed the line in a rogue science station outside the galactic borders. A group of black market xenobiologists decided to test the warning. They had stolen a frozen blood sample from Captain Reeve's first mission. Wanted to replicate it, understand it, maybe control it. The sample was injected into a cloned organism, a neutral hybrid species designed for medical testing. Within 11 seconds, the clone's body convulsed. Its cells began to divide uncontrollably, then melt, then reassemble, then melt again. The experiment failed, then the station. Lights flickered, then went out. Every computer system on the station collapsed, every life form organic, and digital was dead within 3 minutes. The last log from the station, the gene is not a code, it's a command. Earth watches and waits. On Earth, the United Global Research Corps debated its next move. One side argued for isolation. We stay. We survive. We tell no one. The other side, led by Commander Vance and Dr. Takeda, said something different. We need to understand what we are, and the galaxy needs to understand too. Because if humans didn't understand their nature, someone else would, and they might try to use it, or worse, erase it. A new kind of weapon military research groups began to quietly study Gan Omega for tactical use. Could it be amplified? Could it be directed? Could one human trained and enhanced become a living bomb against entire species? The theory was tested in a simulation. Result, one human soldier embedded with high output, Gan Omega strands could wipe out a planet's dominant life form in under 96 hours without firing a shot. It was no longer a question of should we. The question was, what happens if they strike first? The next target unknown to Earth. A distant species, the Valari Collective decided to act, terrified of what humans represented. They launched a fleet of sterilization drones toward the solar system. The mission was simple: wipe out Earth's surface, burn the atmosphere, end the species. The drones were cloaked, silent, hypersonic, but Earth's orbital satellites equipped with early GE and Omega detection grids detected them mid-flight. A strange thing happened. Before reaching Earth, the drones malfunctioned, their cores overheated, circuits fried. Even their thoughtless AI refused to move closer. They drifted into the sun. No counterattack was needed. Earth defended itself without lifting a finger. The word spreads, genetic firestorm throughout the galaxy. One phrase now echoed among the stars. Human DNA is a firestorm. It can't be captured, can't be cloned, can't be contained. If it touches a system, it burns it. If it touches a species, it unmakes it. And if it leaves Earth again, fire could spread. The first bounty was whispered in black markets. 1 trillion credits for a live human, dead. Half that. No one asked why. They only asked who'd be crazy enough to try. Someone did. The price of fear. The Galactic Tribunal made their ruling clear. Earth is not to be touched, monitored, or provoked. But rulings don't stop fear. And in the galactic underworld, fear turns into money. Across the stars, smugglers, mercenaries, warlords, and old enemies of Earth began whispering the same thing. If humans are that dangerous, why do they even exist? Then came the signal, an untraceable message. One sentence, sent on illegal quantum bands. 1 trillion credits for a living human. At first everyone assumed it was fake, then a second offer followed. 500 billion for a corpse. And just like that, the hunt began. The hunters merged. They called themselves the Ash Spiral Syndicate, a cartel of augmented bounty hunters who once brought down the moon fleet of Jarth Prime. Their leader, a shadow being named Mox Talvareth, had lost 3 planets to Dominion collapse after. Earth's defense signal killed the invasion. He hated humans. He didn't care if the bounty was real. He just wanted results. I don't need payment. I need extinction, he hissed. His hunters began moving toward Sol, quietly infiltrating outer listening posts, hacking satellite systems, bribing ex-Dominion sympathizers for Earth access routes. Their mission was simple: bring back a human alive or dead. Earth's hidden defense, the Earth of 2438, looked peaceful from orbit. Clean oceans, reclaimed forests, cities running on fusion and light, but under the surface. It was different since the events on Zel 7R. Earth had quietly constructed its most secret defense grid, the Shroud Protocol. It was a neural net wrapped around the planet, built with data from Reeves' gene signatures. It didn't shoot down threats. It repelled them. AI pilots went blind. When they approached orbit, alien tech short-circuited. Even warlords with organic ships experienced phantom pain as they neared Earth. But the Shroud couldn't stop one thing: desperation. The infiltration Mox Talvareth's team found a weakness. Deep Space Medical Station orbiting Neptune. Asked by humans. Lightly guarded, they hit it fast. No warning. They killed the outer defenses in less than 2 seconds. But the moment they stepped inside, the dying began. The station's oxygen turned. Acidic, the aliens' vision flickered. Pursuits failed. Their minds filled with static. One hunter screamed as his bones turned black under his skin. Another collapsed. Bleeding from his eyes, Mox covered in bioarmor. Forced himself forward, he grabbed a wounded human medic by the arm. But the moment he made contact, his armor began melting. He screamed and teleported out before it reached his lungs. The rest of his crew died within minutes. The syndicates, warning Mox, returned to Ash Spiral Command. Coughing, burned, missing 2 limbs. His recorded message went out to every underworld channel in the Spiral Arms. Don't chase the bounty. Don't touch Earth. Humans aren't prey. They're poison. But some didn't listen. The bounty still stood, and greed is louder than fear. The galaxy reacted across the stars. Species began passing laws. No human DNA may be stored. No human footage may be played without filter. No human name may be spoken without tribunal clearance. Still, rumors leaked. The Virx Confederation began preparing a private army for preemptive containment. The Gralian Swarm, a hive species, immune to most toxins, announced a mission to test resistance to human contact. Earth saw all of this, and for the first time in 100 years, Earth began to prepare for war. The man with no name back on Earth, in a secure Arctic base, known only as Facility Echo. Commander Elijah Vance reviewed reports. He had seen war, he had seen alien cruelty, but he had never seen this, an entire galaxy. So afraid of a species that they put a price on a human head. They'll keep coming, he told Dr. Takeda even. If they all die trying, she nodded. We need to show them why that's a bad idea. And so, Project Genesis was activated. Project Genesis begins it was simple. Don't wait for the hunters. Don't hide behind Earth's atmosphere. Don't just survive. Send a message. Earth would launch its first interstellar diplomatic mission. Not with weapons, not with warnings, but with a single. Man-enhanced, trained, prepared, he would visit a neutral planet, he would speak peace, and he would prove once. And for all what humanity was, the choice was obvious. Captain Aidan Reeve. The next step, Reeve stood alone in the Genesis chamber, surgical suit wrapped tight around his body. He'd read the bounty messages. He knew every step outside Earth made him a target. Still, he smiled. If they're that afraid of me, maybe they should meet me. They tracked him the moment he left Earth. Hundreds of eyes watching. Dozens of ships tailing him in silence. One man, one ship. And every predator in the galaxy waiting for him to blink. But Aidan, Reeve didn't blink. He smiled. The launch that shook the stars, the shuttle EHS Pathfinder, departed Earth's orbit in total silence. No fireworks. No press, just a dark slipstream capsule with heat-absorbent plating, bioradiation dampeners, and enough shielding to survive. A Nova, its passenger, Captain Aidan Reeve, only man in the galaxy who had set foot on alien soil, and left the planet uninhabitable. His mission? Diplomatic contact. His real purpose, proof of survival. Eyes in the void within minutes of Pathfinder's departure. 22 alien ships picked up its signal. They didn't engage. They didn't need to. They simply followed. Quietly, each one had a different goal. Some wanted to scan Reeve from a distance. Some wanted to intercept him and sell his body to the highest bidder. One just wanted revenge for a lost homeworld, but none of them made the first move. They were waiting, watching, and hoping he'd make a mistake. Arrival. Planet Velnar 4. Reeve's destination was Velnar 4, a neutral trade colony orbiting a binary star. It was chosen for 3 reasons. Its environment was harsh enough to filter unregistered organics. Its rulers were independent of the tribunal and not affiliated with Dominion remnants. Its people were known to be pragmatic. As Pathfinder touched down, 100 satellites scanned Reeve's ship. No weapons, no toxins, no external transmissions. Yet the moment Reeve set foot on Velner soil, 3 security bots exploded. Their wiring burst into flame. Their processors overheated. Security alarms didn't go off, they melted. Reeve didn't draw his weapon. He just kept walking. The crowd gathers news of his arrival spread faster than light. Dozens gathered on Velner's upper ring merchants, bounty hunters, black market AI brokers. All of them stared at the human. Many had never seen one before. Some didn't believe he was real. Others backed away. But one figure didn't move. A tall, cloaked alien, known only as Velas, a former tribunal enforcer, stepped forward. "You carry death," Velas said. "You destroy what you touch." Reeve didn't stop walking. "Only if they try to hurt me first." Assassins in the smoke that night, 4 bounty hunters broke into Reeve's guest quarters. They didn't bother. With stealth, they brought high-frequency dampeners, teleport suppressors, and carbon void blades designed to kill even face-shifted beings. Reeve didn't draw his pistol. He didn't scream. He just stepped forward. The room lights flickered. The walls cracked. The air became wrong, too heavy, too dry, too electric. One assassin vomited and collapsed. The other 3 tried to retreat. 2 turned to ash. 1 fell to the floor, twitching as his nervous system unraveled. Reeve walked out of the room, calm, untouched. "I told you," he muttered. "Don't try to hurt me." Message to the Galaxy. Rev activated a universal beacon. He transmitted a live holofeed, unencrypted, to all major relay stations across the spiral arm. In the video, stood alone, under Velner's moons, the bodies of the attackers behind him. He spoke clearly. "I came in peace. You followed me. You sent killers. I survived. They didn't. So ask yourselves, who's the real threat? Me or your fear?" He ended the transmission and shut off the beacon. The message spread anyway. Billions watched it in silence. The Galactic Tribunal reacts in the core world of Savoran 5. The tribunal met in a sealed session. The room buzzed with panic. Some demanded immediate military action. Others warned that attacking Earth would be suicide. One member, cybernetic diplomat named Arkell Zun, raised a trembling voice. If that one man could burn Zal 7R just by breathing, what if he's not the strongest of them? What if he's the weakest? The room went silent. A new decree was issued. No further contact with Earth or its people is authorized. Violation equals war. Reeve's true mission begins now. The galaxy knew Reeve was real, that humans weren't myths or exaggerations, that Earth hadn't created a weapon. Earth was the weapon. Reeve didn't return home. He stayed on Velnar 4, where he was neither welcomed nor opposed. He opened a small station, a listening post for Earth's Watchers. He didn't send threats. He didn't demand tribute. He just watched and waited, because he knew something the galaxy hadn't realized yet. Earth wasn't afraid, but someone out there should be. The galaxy thought it understood fear, war, extinction, chaos. But fear had a new name, now human, and someone. Somewhere was planning to erase it forever, not with bombs, not with fleets, but with something far worse. The hidden pact it started. In shadows, on the fractured moons of Helionzek, 12 species gathered in secret sworn enemies, now allies under a single vow: humanity must be erased from existence. They called it Project Silence. Their goal: find, source the reason any alien who set foot on it died instantly, and cut it out of the galaxy. Their weapon wasn't physical, it was dimensional. The anti-life, array-built in the forgotten labs of the extinct Earth-L engineers. The anti-life array was rumored to disrupt biological fields at the quantum level. It didn't kill it. It's deleted memories, DNA, culture, the very idea of a species gone. If fired properly, Earth wouldn't burn. It would be forgotten. Even humans would forget themselves, back on Earth, cracks in the sky high above Earth. Orbital satellites began showing strange anomalies, energy shifts, unmapped gravitational waves, time dilation spikes. At first they thought it was solar interference. Then came the voice. It echoed through every broadcast system on Earth's all frequencies. All languages at once. You should not exist. The Earth Council panicked. Military systems scrambled. AI defenses activated. Commander Elijah Vance, watching the feeds, whispered, "They're not attacking our bodies. They're coming for our being." Aiden Reeve responds, and Vellner for Reeve. Sat alone in his station. He heard the voice too, but he didn't flinch. He simply stood up, activated his neural implant, and contacted Earth. Send it. Earth's most classified file, Protocol Primalocked. Since the birth of the Human Expansion Project, no one knew what it did, not even Reeve, but Earth's AI did, and it was waiting for his signal. The minefielders, the anti-life array powered up. Its targeting systems locked onto Earth. It began phase-syncing the erasure sequence. Planets. On its edge began to flicker, vanishing briefly. Then, something happened. The entire galaxy shuddered. Sensors went blind. Black. Holes stopped spinning, and a message appeared across the stars. Fear is the only language left. Let us teach it to you. Protocol Prime wasn't a weapon. It was a reflection. It took every attempt at destruction and turned it back on the source. The anti-life ray imploded. Every being involved in Project Silence went into neural shock. Some died. Others went mad, and others forgot what they were doing entirely. The galaxy breaks in the aftermath. Chaos spread. All known charts of Earth's quadrant became unreadable. Star routes to Sol disappeared. AI navigation failed. It was as if Earth had become a ghost system. Except, it still responded. If someone asked about Earth, the galactic networks showed a warning. Do not approach. Do not observe. Do not remember. Reeve watched the galaxy recoil, then smiled. Now they understand. The legacy of humanity years past. Earth didn't expand. It didn't invade. It didn't speak. It just remained untouchable, unstoppable, unknowable, and still. Human, across the stars, myths were born. That humans weren't natural, they were punishment. That Earth was a prison for ancient gods. That touching a human's skin meant instant death or worse. Transformation? But Reeve knew the truth. Humans weren't monsters. They were mirrors. And when the galaxy looked too closely, it saw its own fear looking back. Final message, John, his final day on Vellner 4. Aiden Reeve sent one last transmission to the stars. We never wanted to be feared. We never wanted war. But now that you've forced it, know this. We are not your enemy. We are your reckoning. He looked up at the stars one last time and vanished. No one saw where he went. Some say he returned to Earth. Others believe he became something else, something more than human. HFY endnote for viewers. This concludes the No Alien Survives Earth saga. A bold, terrifying journey across a galaxy that feared one thing more than extinction: humanity's truth.